Hi, how you doing? My name is Rene Elias, and I'm here at the park where I used to be homeless at one time. The beginning of 2017, I spent about 3 months in Vegas homeless, and I would like to tell my story. Well, where I'm sitting at now is where I used to come and sometimes have my lunch, sometimes spend the day, because it was one of the safest parks. A lot of these parks are infested with a lot of homeless people. I don't understand why all people are homeless, but I'm just going to tell you my story. There's other places that I'm going to show you where I used to eat, where I used to sleep, where I would wash up. And it's not that I was homeless because my family wouldn't help me. I was homeless by choice, because I was upset with myself, with a lot of things that were going on in my life, but that's another story. I would like for you guys to take this journey with me and get to know my story, and if it could hopefully help you in any kind of way, it will help you.
So where are you taking us right now?
I'm taking you where I used to come to be able to wash up, to clean myself up, because I found it to be one of the cleanest places that I could come to. So I'd like to show you.
All right, lead the way. Let's take a look at it. Men's room right there. All right.
Whenever I needed to stay out of the cold, sometimes I would come in here if it was too windy. I'd stay in the stalls, and this was pretty much my sink where I would, I'd buy myself some soap from the 99-cent store, and whenever wash my hands and wash my face, whatever I had to do. And before, there used to be napkins where you see these things right here. There'd be a mirror to napkins, but I guess they started vandalizing, so they took them away. But
what's over here?
Over here is the bathrooms, toilets.
Oh, the actual stalls.
They're pretty clean. They keep them clean and stuff. When it gets too windy, that's where I would come, because most of the parks were full of other people. So sometimes if it was too cold, too windy, this is where I come, sit. I'd close the door when they had a door, but I would sit here and go through my thoughts, and that's pretty much where. I mean, this was my bathroom.
As you can see, Las Vegas Boulevard, and downtown Vegas. This isn't exactly the lights, the glitz and glamour that you see. There's a very depressive side to this city. People think it's all lights and what have you, but no, there's more to this town that people lead on. So yes, it is the city of sin. Yes, it is the mecca of adult vices and fun. People come here to do what they can't anywhere else, but what people fail to realize is there's also a growing epidemic, if that's the word you want to use. Actually, that's the word I've heard used in this situation, actually, regarding the homeless. So now the question I pose to all of you is it really an epidemic? So we just finished up filming some footage, and we're en route to another location right now. And en route, the scene you just saw, we saw a group of people, homeless individuals. It looked like a family, I believe, right?
Yes,
it was a family. Yeah,
it was a family.
It was a family. They sounded Cuban, I believe, Cuban or Dominican. I can't really tell, but they were Hispanic. We spoke Spanish. The audio, I kind of blurted it out of there though for consistency purposes, but from what I gathered, they said that the local law enforcement told them they had 30 minutes to relocate, to gather all their things and get out of there. But the thing is, they have nowhere to go. See what I mean? And the thing that's weird to me is when the law enforcement tells them, oh, you got to get out of here, we can't have you here. Where are they supposed to go?
Yeah.
Where are they supposed to go is the question. So we'll find out. We'll find out more as we move along. And here, as you see, we have the main street of Las Vegas. I know most other towns in America, when it says, or cities, where it says Main Street, you picture, you know, beautiful sky-rise buildings. You picture, well, you certainly don't picture this. You know, as you can see, it is under construction, but well, only time will tell if it remains the same way. Yeah, we are actually about to enter an area that is, you know, some people call it, at least I've heard it been called by some people, homeless alley. Other people just call it Main Street. You know, it has other worse names, I'm sure, but that's the one I've heard that is least offensive, the homeless alley. And we are still on Main Street. As you can see, there are no glitz and glamour lights and casinos and things like that, of that nature. But what you're about to see is a derelict of people. Just the empty cart, people. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Homeless Alley. By day, it's not much to look at, I know. But at night, these streets become infested with the homeless. It becomes just a graveyard. You've been out here, right?
Yes.
What's it like at night?
At night, it looks like an army anthole with hundreds of people out here. If you can start seeing, bro, there's a lot of people out there now.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst streets.
Floor master. Yeah, as you can see, people for as far as the eye can see.
Most people are here not by choice.
Most of them just caught a bad moment in their life and didn't know how to get out of it. Bodies as far as the eye can see. Look at this one, right over here. Next to a graveyard. Let's say it's the safest place to be. Trash littered all over the streets. Well, it looks like trash to us, but to them it's keepsakes, it's mementos, it's food, it's whatever you want to call it. Keepsakes, whatever it is, whatever name you want to dub it. It helps them. By a cemetery. State your name?
My name's Jennifer.
Jennifer, okay. How long have you been out here on the streets of Las Vegas?
Well, I've been in Vegas. Vegas is my home. I was born in Michigan, but I've been out here in Vegas again for over 2 years, a little over 2 years.
2 years? Okay, all right. Do you feel that the people have a misinterpretation about the homeless here? Or?
Well, I think that definitely there is. People look at our family as being homeless, but really they are under God's mansion. I mean, there's so many resources out here. We're doing so much. I mean, I think we'd win the city and the nation, to tell you the truth. I'm so proud, and there's so much love out here. We send everywhere. If you come to Vegas and you take some time to walk down these back streets and to just get to know the rest of the family, you realize how much love there is.
If there's anything you would like people to know regarding the said homeless, what would it be? Like their impression, what is it something you would like them to know?
I think that everybody just assumes that people who are, our family that's on the streets that are working at downtimes right now, they assume that they're gamblers, that they're drug addicts, that, if they have some mental issues or something to that effect. And I think that it's really sad because they're just like you and me, and they've run into, where and it's hard. I mean, like, they don't have their ID. They just need somebody to just give them their hand and show them, that we do love them and
That they're people too.
That they're people too, right? They're no better. We're no better than they are, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it tremendously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I asked you what it is that you did to make money, when you didn't, because you said you didn't want to panhandle, and you told me to come here, but to these trains Well, what are we doing here?
Well, the reason I brought you here is because I would like to explain to you the reason and the ways that I made my money.
Okay.
I didn't like asking people for anything. So there was always neighborhood drug dealers that would like you to take runs, as they call them, to go to different places to bring back drugs or anything that they would need me to bring back, and they would pay me. So the reason I'm here at this train is because I used to hop the train at midnight from San Diego all the way to Compton, LA, pick up a supply of drugs. I would sleep in the streets because I really didn't have any money. The hotels were expensive. So I would be 3 nights to sometimes 5 nights until the next train would bring me back to San Diego. So I would be walking around LA with $4,000 or $5,000 worth of drugs in the backpack. But then when I would return, I would get paid and I would be able to continue surviving. And that's pretty much how I would make my money. I know it was illegal, but to me, I've always didn't like panhandling. And I did what I could, and this was the easiest way to make money for me.
So my question is, I'm sure you probably still have connections to that kind of life. Why don't you go back to that, if the money is easy and good?
Because I've made a lot of different changes in my life now, and to me it's not worth it. The lifestyle of the way people do things and sell drugs is different now. Things are done in-house, as they call it. You don't really have to travel anywhere, and I changed my ways, I changed my life, and I don't need to do that anymore. But if I wanted to, do I have the connections? Do I know the people? Yes, I do. I can go back to that anytime that I want, but I choose not to. And this is the way that I would do it, and this is the way I would make my money.
So you would hop aboard the train, how exactly, if you can show us, like?
Well, the train would be coming through San Diego at midnight, and it would probably be moving about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So what I would do is I would get as close as I could to where these ladders were at, and I would start running with the train. I had my backpack on and everything. The money everything would be inside the backpack. I would hop on, grab this part, and continue just climbing over. Hopefully I wouldn't fall. I never did, thank God. And then I would just jump inside the train and ride it all the way to LA. And I would always I would look up to the sky. And as soon as I would feel that I was getting closer to LA, I would watch the planes. And that's how I would know that I was getting closer and closer. And as soon as I would think that I was close to LA, I would look up. And as soon as I knew that I was getting close, one of the stops was in Compton. And as soon as it would stop there because there's warehouses. And when it stopped, I'd hop off the train and I go to the Connect and I go and buy what I needed, what I was sent for. And then I would have to wait 3 to 4 more days before that train would actually go back to San Diego. So you can just imagine me walking around with thousands of dollars of drugs in South Central Compton area. It's dangerous, but did I like to beg for money? No, I didn't. That was the way I made my money.
So you would literally just walk on, you'd be running on tracks like these to get on trains like those over in that area.
Exactly, because they're moving 20 to 30 miles per hour, sometimes a little slower, but to chase a 15-mile-per-hour train, you got to have a good balance. And the more I did it, the better I got at it. It was super dangerous, yes, and sometimes there would be other people on the train.
And with these other people on the train, were they like, did they look at it kind of like their territory, like they had to defend it, or what was it exactly?
Well, yeah, some people that's how they would transport. Some people would just ride a train to stay out of the cold. or to get from place to place, because they would travel all through LA in California. But you know, I was always, you know, going on my mission, and some people would know. I would sometimes bump into some of the regular people that I would go, you know. So you know, I got lucky. I never really got robbed. Well, no, I got robbed once. I'm not gonna lie, I got robbed once because I pulled out my money and they robbed me. And I mean, they gave me. I wanted having to do a double run in order for that. So I was always risking my life. I mean, the money was good, but it was very dangerous. You know, I mean, I did it to survive, you know, and that's how I survived, and that's how I made my money to eat and to be able to, you know, have somewhere to stay, you know. But in LA, I didn't know my way around. I only knew how to get to LA and where I was going to get the drugs. But I would have to be in the streets for 2-3 days. So, yeah, is it dangerous in LA? It's very dangerous in LA, you know. But I'm still here to tell my story, and I hope, you know, people can live off of, you know, take something from this. And you know, you don't have to be in the streets, you know, but if you do, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
I hear you.
So what exactly is important about this alley exactly?
Well, I used to walk down this alley when I used to actually go to the church, where I would have to actually spend the night, because I wouldn't want to walk down the main streets because there were so many people that are homeless that actually sleep around this area. And I would stay at the park. And this park has an actual street where you can actually walk down, and it takes you into the church. It'd be safer than going that way, because sometimes there would be police officers patrolling the park. So this way was my way to get into the park and get out of the park in order for me to be able to get somewhere to sleep.
Okay, so where exactly are we at now?
We're actually now one of the places where I used to sleep, that I did most of the sleeping would be in this hallway, but at night it would be pitch black. I would come here like at 1 o'clock in the morning when the church would be closed. It was really creepy, but I had no other place to sleep at night. So this is one of the places where I laid my head. Right now you might see it all lights and everything, but at night it was pitch black. Was I scared? Yes, I was scared. But compared to other places where the homeless actually all stay together, this is nothing compared to that.
What would you use as a pillow?
I would use my backpack that I carry my clothes, and I had 2 sweaters and a jacket on. And that was what kept me warm. Plus the walls, they would kind of prevent the cold air from hitting me at night.
So what are you doing right now exactly?
Well, I have a few extra cans and some food that we're going to go right here across the street to go try to feed some homeless. Instead of throwing them away, they could be put to better use.
All right, giving back to them, if you will.
That's correct.
All right, let's do it.
Telling me?
All right. So my first question to you is actually the main question I have is just what is a misconception you think people have with the homeless in this city?
They think we're bad people. We're not. I mean, we're like everybody else. We're just in a tight spot right now.
A tight spot.
I
Good.
mean, we grew up, well, not we grew up differently, but we all grew up the same. But the thing is, God has a will and a way for everything.
Understood. I hear you.
He's going to show us our way one of these days. It just takes time.
Oh, I hear you. If there's anything you would like to share with the community, with people, if it's something you would want them to know regarding the homeless and their situation.
Well, make sure you pay your rent at all time. If you don't pay your rent, you're going to be out homeless. They don't care. They really don't care. I mean, if you pay your rent and you do everything that the cops and everybody else tells you in Vegas, you're fine.
Okay. Understood. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And you have a blessed day. Take care. So what do you think people get wrong about being homeless people? What do you think is the misconception that people have about it?
Well, things that people don't understand about being homeless, it's tough. It's not that easy. You know, most people in the world or any part of the United States, you could say, they have almost the same life. You get up in the morning, you know, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you get yourself dressed, you go to a job, you earn your money, and your life goes on. You have your vehicle, you know, you get off of work, you come home to dinner, you know, you can relax and watch TV. When you're homeless, it's not the same concept. You know, you got to figure out where you're going to get your next meal, where you're going to shower, where you're going to sleep, and when you do find somewhere to sleep, you're actually exposed to danger because you're sleeping at night. You never know where you're going to lay your head. You always try to find somewhere warm, but you got to understand when you're trying to lay somewhere warm, there's other homeless people. They're actually looking for somewhere warm too. So you're kind of falling asleep, but you're not falling asleep. So you spend all night watching your back because they'll try to rob you. They'll try to take your food if you have a little bit of food, or they'll try to expose you to drugs. So it's dangerous to be homeless, you know. And you think that you get enough sleep, but you really never get enough sleep. On top of that, you're worried about everything else that's going on in your life, you know. Some homeless are nice. Some are very violent. Some of them are on drugs. Some of them don't take their medication. So you're exposed to all kind of evil things out there in the streets. And you know how they say, nothing nice comes after midnight. So, I mean, this documentary is just not just based on me. It's based on a lot of things that are happening out there, not just in Vegas, in different parts of the United States, different parts of the world. And I'm just telling you parts and pieces of my life. And hopefully you can take from it, if you ever are homeless, that hopefully you never will be homeless, because it's something that's I can't really explain to you, you know. And I hope you learn from this, and I really do hope it helps you.